Hey, I'm Evan Vance. Here are my top 5 tips that got me past 10K per month in my SMMA. If you don't already know me, I run a real estate social media marketing agency, and to date, my best 30-day period of revenue has been $77,000. So starting with number 1, don't overcharge for what you're comfortable charging. One major issue that I faced was I was actually charging too much for a little while, and I wasn't comfortable charging it. So on the calls, I was very uncomfortable. I didn't know how to overcome objections, and I was really kind of afraid to even present the pricing that I had because it was really high. So if you're trying to just get money in the door, period, one thing that I suggest is simply charging even lower than you think you might want to, because that way you can start getting some deal flow coming in. So for example, one of my clients, Christian, he was charging too much money and he was struggling to get any sales, this kind of thing. And when he started working with me, one of the things I was saying is, look, if you're just trying to get cash in the door, you don't have rent to pay, you live with your parents, everything's fine. There's really no pressure to make a ton of money right now. Well, you might as well start charging less so that you can get people in the door and get them results and then get testimonials easier. Me overcharging led to a 5-month dry streak where I made no sales whatsoever. In the 5th month, I made a $600 sale. So trust me when I say do not way overcharge. And if you're just looking to get deals coming in, then charge a lot less. I cut my price down by 75%, and then I had my first month where I did 14K immediately after that 5-month dry streak. Number 2, quit jumping around. Stop falling for the shiny objects. If you haven't fallen for a shiny object yet, watch out. You're going to see other opportunities, other niches, other outreach methods, other sales call methods, whatever it is that are going to tempt you to change what you're doing. If you have something that is working, don't change it whatever you do, please. I made this mistake so many times. I started charging like $150 a month. Then I changed my price, I changed my service, I changed my price, I changed my service. I went up to $2,000 a month. Then I started selling courses. Then I started selling done with you, where I'd set it up and like give the high level account over to the client, and then they'd take over. Then I was doing done for you. I was doing like 15 different things, and I was trying them all for like 3 months. Oh, this doesn't work. I just sucked. That was the truth. I just sucked. If it's not working, you suck. And I know it sounds harsh when I say it like that, but you need to be realistic with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. Number 3, this one kind of piggybacks off of number 2, is be patient. I was a horrifically impatient person. Even before I ever started an agency, when I was doing e-commerce stuff, I'd switch stores all the time. Every few months, I'd try something for a few months, change it up, try for a few months, change it up. And what you're doing is you're constantly sending yourself back to the beginning and then back to the beginning within like a 3-month time period. It makes no sense. And that's why it took me a while to get anywhere, in e-com and whatever it was that I was doing. And even if you want to hit, say, 10K within 30 days, right? There are a couple things that you need to keep in mind. One is that 30 days is still 30 full days where you're sitting there working all day, every day, or however much you work. It's 30 days. You have to wait every single day. And when you feel this impatience, you're like, I got to make this fast. I got to make this happen fast. And you start freaking out. Then all that really does is it encourages you to like, try this, try that, try this, try that. And then you start doing a million things, and then you're spread way too thin. You suck at like 7 different things instead of being good at one thing. 30 days feels like a long time when you're hyped to hit 10K a month right now. You have to learn to just let the hype sit and have that be okay, and use it as a driver to do more of the right things instead of 50,000 different things that are pretty much useless and wasting your time. And one thing that you should also remember is that this is meant to be hard. It's not meant to be easy to hit $10,000 a month. That's why most people don't do it. That's why the average annual salary is like 50K. It's hard to do. So if you remember that it's hard to do, and if you remember that, hey, it may take longer than what I'm anticipating, maybe you want to hit it within 3 months, maybe you want to hit it within the year, whatever it is, if it takes longer, that's okay. What matters more is that you don't give up than when you hit it. Number 4, and I very slightly touched on this one before, if something's working, lean into it. Don't add on this completely different thing. For example, maybe you're doing Instagram organic, you're doing Facebook organic, and you're doing LinkedIn organic cold outreach. Let's pretend those are 3 things that you're doing, and let's pretend that hypothetically LinkedIn's working really well for you. You can just stop doing the other 2 and lean into LinkedIn hard and learn how to scale it. instead of trying to figure out 3 different things, it's the same concept where instead of trying to sell done with you, done for you, this, that, the other, different price points, different options, this kind of thing, just hone in on one thing. If something's working for you, lean into it, learn how to make it better, and scale that one thing. That's your easiest, fastest path to 10K a month when you're starting out. And I'll give you an example of this from my personal experience. I was running cold email, I did cold LinkedIn, I did Instagram organic outreach, Facebook organic outreach, and I think that was it starting out. But what I found was that my cold email was working really well, but I was still doing this, I was still doing that. I kept my LinkedIn running because it was profitable, so I was like, sure, it doesn't take too much of my time, it's mostly automated. But after making cold email work, I went into Instagram organic instead of just trying to double my cold email, which is so much easier because it's already working. So it's not hard to get to like 3K a month and get 1 deal in or something like that, right? It's really not hard to do 1, 2, 3 deals. It's not difficult. What's difficult is having the discipline to keep doing that one thing and grow that one thing, because you kind of want to just do like 50 different things. It's exciting, it's new. You have to do what's kind of lame. So if you have something that's working, do more of it. And what happened was with that cold email story, when I learned this lesson finally, I went back, used the exact same emails from a year before, used the same emails, and it got me to 25K a month. When a year before I was at like 3. If I had just learned that lesson, I would have gotten to 25K a month a year sooner. Take this very seriously, this whole message. I know I'm like kind of laughing at myself because it was a really stupid thing to do, but this is so common. Be very, very careful about this. And then finally, take responsibility for your results. Don't be silly and blame, external circumstances like, oh, the Facebook TOS changed and now I can't reach out to as many people. Figure it out. We're all playing by the same rules. If you can't make it work, it's your problem. It's not somebody else's problem. It's not Facebook's fault, right? Maybe Facebook changed things and it ruined things for you. This happens to people. I talked about in my last video where one of my cold emails completely shut down. I adapted, I changed, I made it work. I learned from my lessons. I didn't go, oh, woe is me. Oh, everything sucks. The world doesn't like me. Cold email doesn't work. Like, you can't be thinking like this. It makes no sense. It's silly and it's dumb. Sorry if that was harsh, but that is the mindset that really helped me get to 10K a month and now all the way up to I'm coming on 100K a month.